Okay, guys, well, welcome to tonight. This is our weekly tracker incentive call. You guys put in the work, you guys did the things, you did the activity, you tracked it, which is even more. You went one step above. But you guys are putting in the work and you guys deserve to be on this call. This is a next level leader call. This is for those that are like, hey, Tara, I'm not just saying I want it, I'm showing you I want it. And those types of people, those types of behaviors deserve the coaching, deserve the skill set training. And I immediately knew who I wanted to partner with this call. It is Ashley Wammer. I also wanted Garrett. I know some of you heard that he might be on this call. He is actually overseas with family, dealing with some family stuff right now. So just keep him in your thoughts and prayers. But y'all, we are not missing out with having Ashley on the call. She is absolutely incredible. She is our VP of field development on the corporate side. But I want to tell you a little bit about Ashley. She actually knew Aspen years ago, and you're more than welcome to share a little bit about you so I don't mess it up. But guys, she worked in the field, and when I say she was in our shoes for a while, she was in our shoes. So she was highly successful. Her and Aspen were running buddies in the field. That's how they met years ago. And Ashley is all things math, numbers, reports, activity, action, game plan. Like that is why she holds the title of Vice President of Field Development. She is incredible at teaching. She is incredible as a friend, as a mentor, as somebody I could rely on. She prays over speakers as they walk on stage, before they walk on stage. She is there not just from a business standpoint, but also as a friend, spiritual, all the things. And I love her. Very brilliant, very smart. So this is Ashley Wammer. I don't want to take up any more time from what she's going to train tonight on how to take the next level, dig a little deeper, find the hanging fruit, figure out how you can take your business to the next level. Take it away, Ashley.
Well, thank you for that. I love you. I love anything that you ask me to do. I will do anything for your team. You're secretly, I always say, like, my favorite. Hi, Amy. I love you guys. You're just like the heart and soul. And I think you probably all know that because Tara is literally heart and soul. And I just love you so much. So I'm super proud of every single one of you guys. You earned this call. And Tara's telling me that every single one of you are ready to take your business to the next level. So before we kind of dive into some of the things I have for you guys tonight, I'd love to know, like, what is your guys' lifetime rank right now? Where are you guys at? So I kind of know who I'm talking to. And I 100% feel like your rank never, ever, ever defines you. That people come into your organization that have leadership abilities and leadership skills that don't necessarily align with where they're at. But like Tara said, we are going to talk about some leadership type things tonight. And yes, she was right. I was in your shoes. I built in this industry. I'm 41 right now. So just kind of throwing that out there. I started in network marketing when I was 19 years old, and I failed forward for a lot of years until I started treating this business like a business instead of like a hobby. And here's the thing, you guys, people used to say that all the time. Like, if you want it to pay you like a business, you have to treat it like a business. If you want to pay, or if you want it like a hobby. And I'm like, wait, we pay for hobbies. Hobbies don't pay us. And that was my story. I think the first year that I was in network marketing, I'd only made $13. Okay. So when I say I was in your shoes, I remember what it was like to get no's, to have the grind, to not make any money, to having success. And everything started to change when I started to make things happen instead of allowing things to happen to my business. And so the difference between, and I'm going to take a peek at the chat real quick just because, okay, director, close to senior director, director, close to senior director. All right, perfect. Vice president, awesome. Okay. So none of this information is going to be something that you guys can't take. Some of it may be like, oh, I didn't know that, or I've never thought about using it like that before. And so just take it in stride. And with all things, Tara, if there's anything after this call that you're like, hey, can you send screenshots of this, or can you send this and my team wants more, just ask for it. So understanding where you guys are right now and where you need to be, the question is, what's the difference, right? What do I need? Where is the hole at? And then once you've identified what that hole is, it's putting a plan in place to go make up that difference. And I had a mentor that gave me a sign one time that said, some people let things happen, but leaders make it happen. And I literally was like, well, I'm a leader. And I was like, wait, but I need to make sure that rest of that statement identifies me. If I look at myself as a leader, I need to stop letting things happen to my business and just be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'm at director. I'm in the 400 club," instead of making things happen in my business and treating it like a business. So, you have to get kind of a pulse on your numbers and where you're at. That's what we're going to talk a little bit about. I'm going to kind of teach you guys how to dig into your back office to kind of find some things because your back office doesn't lie, right? We can tell ourselves stories about how our business is doing, but you go into your back office and you can clearly see if you've made a sale, if you've enrolled anybody, where your things are at. Okay. So I firmly believe in going to the source and seeing where those numbers are. So if you're a note taker, your volume comes from three buckets of people. And this is going to be true for you guys at director, and it's going to be true for you guys as you're going executive vice president. The first bucket of people that bring in volume for you are your rank runners. These are people that are on this call. They're people that tell you, my goal is director, my goal is this, my goal is that. They're coming to you. They're telling you what they want, $500 to $1,000 or $2,000. They're your rank runners. They're the ones that are all in. And that doesn't mean that they're building a business full time. That means they're giving all in effort. Okay? So they're your rank runners. You can count on them. Your second bucket of people, and bravenly what I call them, are your club chasers. Okay. They're people that maybe are just kind of hoping things happen in their business. And they're like, yeah, my goal this month is the 400 club. And you're like, oh, I wish you would have said director because I see so many things in you. You're incredible, right? But they're just kind of okay with going for the clubs every single month and having that little goal there. Okay. That's a bucket of volume. And then your third bucket of people are what I call, and hopefully nobody takes offense to this. Tara knows my heart. Amy knows my heart, but I call them your piddlers. Okay. They're your people that are just kind of piddling out there that are doing a little bit every once in a while. And maybe they'll get active one month. Maybe they won't. Maybe they won't return your calls. They're never getting on team calls. And then all of a sudden you see them make a post and you're like, oh my gosh, like they're back, right? They're your piddlers. That's okay. Understanding and knowing that volume comes from all three of those buckets is super important because it's not our job to push people into what we want them to be, right? It's our job to be here for them, to motivate them. But you guys, you're an independent brand partner. That means you've decided to build a business with Bravenly. Just because even your team has said yes to this, you're not managing any of those people. They could come in and come out and do whatever they want. You're in charge of your business. Okay. So here's the thing that through the years, though, that I've watched leaders, and I mean like high level leaders, they abandon one of those groups of people. Which one do you think it is? The piddlers. Okay. Right? Most leaders very easily think to themselves, and you guys, when I say the word leader, I don't mean somebody that's an EVP, somebody that's doing 1 million a month. I mean somebody that has enrolled somebody and that is all in their business, whatever capacity that looks like. Okay. If you've enrolled somebody, you're leading somebody else, which means you're a leader. Okay. By my definitions for tonight's Zoom, that's what I'm going to be for the rest of this. Okay. So your most leaders, though, as soon as you get ghosted, as soon as you invite somebody to a call and they don't respond, right? Chances are, what do we normally do? Especially as women, we're like, oh, I don't want to bother them. They didn't respond last time. They're probably not going to respond this time. They don't really want to do this business, right? We start kind of making up our own stories about their story in our head and we count them out. Okay. So a lot of times that bucket of people get abandoned. And here's where I've seen people move masses amounts of volumes is when they drive that bucket. When they decide they are going to lead people and understand you're leading, and that means you're driving your team. Okay. So I'm going to actually screen share for a few minutes and get into a back office. Somebody had said from Tara's team, yep, you can go ahead and use my back office. And so I'm going to show you guys real numbers, where you can see things, where you can find things. And please, if you're not like a green personality, and what I mean by that is somebody that like knows Excel spreadsheets, breathe. Okay. Just breathe. I can do another video for you guys. I can do one-on-ones with you. I can send you guys this stuff. But what I want you to really just capture here is what's possible to see in your back office and how you can kind of manipulate data to figure out where those holes are. Because if we look back at that chat, okay, if Alicia, you're trying to go senior director. If you're director and you're trying to go senior director, you guys know that jump is 2,500 to 5,000, right? That means you're doubling your volume. If you do the same effort with the same people, what are your results? Director. You're not going to hit senior director. You have to double that volume. And it goes for almost every single rank in our company, you guys. When you look at it, almost every single rank doubles. And so as soon as you hit that new rank, you kind of need to be thinking to yourself, okay, if what I just did is what I do this month, I'm going to maintain my rank and I'm going to get paid the same amount. If I do less, going to get paid probably less and maybe slide back, maybe not. But if I want to do more, okay, and if I want to promote, it's double the effort, which we're all humans, right? We can't be superhumans that work this business 75 hours a day. There's only 24 hours. So you need more bodies. You need more people. You need to activate those buckets of people that are doing a little bit to see if you can get them to do a little bit more. And then you need to go recruit. So let me go ahead and screen share. And I'm going to pull up on my phone my notes so I stay on task since I'm going to screen share. So give me 2 seconds. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to come over to the General Qualifications Pro report. Okay. This is going to be literally your guide. And can everybody see my screen? I just want to make sure. Okay, good deal. So this is going to be your guide to a lot of this data that you guys actually need. Okay. So I am going to go to last month because it's only the second of the month. So I want to see some actual good numbers, right? So I'm going to go over to May, and instead of pulling her entire downline because she has a big one, I'm just going to go to her personally enrolled. But what I would want you guys to do is on this view, click organization. Okay, so you're seeing everybody. Okay, and then you're going to click search. Depending on how big your organization is, sometimes it takes longer or slower to load. Now, if you've been in Bravenly for over a year, you guys know and understand that every year people have to renew their accounts. Some people choose to fall off. What I would recommend is if you're in that position where you've had people leave your business and cancel, you can actually come over here to the advanced filter section and filter them out. So they're not going to show up and make room on your report. And how you do that is you go over to the lifetime rank and you click independent brand partner. So it's going to filter out affiliates. And some of you guys have affiliates that are actually bringing in volume and you may want them on this report if you're kind of working with them and coaching them. So go ahead and change it to affiliate. But for this one, we're going to do independent brand partner and then go to the lifetime rank max. And even though none of you guys are platinum executive vice presidents, just go to that rank and see below that how it says canceled. It's going to make sure that it's only pulling the ranks of the brand partners in the company. It's filtering out affiliates and it's filtering out people that have canceled or left your team. Okay. So some of this you guys might not apply to you right now, but it will eventually. So then click apply and then you need to click search again. Okay. And then it's going to bring up all of those people in your organization that meet those requirements. Okay. So as soon as it does this, And some of you guys, if you're just director, you may only have three, four, five people on your team. Okay. But as that continues to grow, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And so I want to show you what this could look like. And when I would do this would be towards maybe like the 15th to the 20th of the month. Okay. When you've kind of hit that halfway point, and you're like, all right, we really need to bust it, right? We need to really make some moves. And I spent the beginning of the month figuring out who wants it, what their goals are. Now we need to kind of check the numbers and see how they're tracking. Where are they at? What are they doing? Where am I missing people? Where have maybe there's a rising star in my organization that I've never met or never talked to, right? That's the goal. That would be awesome if we all had that, right? But it can happen. So, once you guys get this and it's already click search, what you're going to do is I'm going to have you export this report. Okay. You do probably need like a computer or an iPad for this. But as your business grows, Amy Grimmett knows she's a vice president. She's got a massive organization. It's hard to see these things on your phone and scroll through and manipulate the different columns. Okay. So again, I don't want this to go over your guys' head. I want you to know and understand, even if you have a smaller organization, this is something that you can do to continue to grow. So export it to a CSV. Okay. So while it's downloading, it's going to pull up in a Excel report. That's what it's going to look like. Now I have a Mac. It's going to look different on every different computer, but almost every single time that I was building my business, I took whatever report I was downloading and I actually put it into Google Drive. And the reason why is you can access Google Drive from any computer, from any phone, anywhere you're at. If you're at a friend's house at a sip and sample, and maybe you're there later and you're like wanting to check on numbers or whatever, you don't need your computer. You don't need downloaded files because you've uploaded those files into Google Drive. So, what I used to do is, oh, that's fun. Kayla, how do I get that off? Don't show again. There we go. Okay. So what I would do is if you don't have a Google account, you guys can create one. Go to Google, create a Gmail account. They're incredible. Okay. But you can go over, let me start at Google real quick. Okay. And you just go into your drive. If you have a Gmail account, you guys have access to all of these things. But what I use is the drive part of it. And then I can create sheets, which are kind of like Excel spreadsheets. Okay. So I already did this earlier to kind of prep this so it kind of go a little bit faster. But what I did is I just took this Excel sheet and I copied all of it and I put it into my Google Drive. Okay. So this is what I want to show you guys. This is where you can find some volume that's maybe missing. Once you have that information, whether it's 2, 5, 20, 500 people, you can delete certain columns. And again, this is where I was saying at the beginning, if you guys want me to send you this, I can send you this. And you can look at it and see how I've set it up. If I need to do a tutorial to just teach you how to do this, I can do that too. Okay. But again, for this, the purpose of this Zoom, I want you guys to see the data that you have, okay, and what you can do with that. So you can go line by line. Okay, Sarah Gee. She was paid as a director, or right now, let's just say it's June 20th. Okay. Let's say her lifetime rank is senior director, but right now, currently, she's paid at a director. Her team volume is over 4,000. Okay. So am I going to help her rank advance or maybe maintain? Right now, I would think I would want to help her maintain senior director. Okay. Now, senior director maintenance is 4,000. To hit it for the first time, it's 5,000, but to maintain is 4,000. So right away, when I'm looking at this and I see that she already has 4,000, that means she's not balanced. Okay, so I need to go figure out what she needs to do to help her maintain her highest rank. Why? she's going to get paid more. Okay. So volume from goal, rank up goal, volume for maintenance goal, she's 712 away. And where I got that number is over here. Her maintenance maintained senior director is 3288. Okay. So this is the number that needs to get to 4,000. So when I'm coaching her, I'm going to reach out to her and I'm going to say to her, Sarah, do you know that you are only 712 away from maintaining senior director? Let's do this. We have 10 days. We have 5 days. We have 2 days. Whatever that is, you guys. Okay. Now, what's in it for me if she does that? 712 more volume, right? If I leave this alone right now and just let it sit, that's almost literally 1,000 in volume that I'm just sitting on, right? Maybe she doesn't know. Maybe she's on vacation. Maybe if she did know, she would make some massive moves and go get that 712 in the next 2 or 3 days or whatever the time is left. But if sometimes she doesn't know, just because somebody is not blowing up your phone doesn't mean that they don't want a bigger paycheck. And that's the thing that I want you guys to remember is yes, that first bucket of people, your rank runners, they're going to be the ones that are blowing up your phone that you talk to all the time. But there are a lot of other people that if they just knew, and should they know? Yeah, it's their business, right? But it's your business. And by helping somebody else go get that 712 in volume is helping your business. If you're 4,000 away from your goal, helping four people go get 700 to 1,000, doesn't it close that gap a lot? Right? So that's why I always say, and there's a lot of people that are like, well, they should know they have access to the same reports I do. Yeah, they do. But my business feeds my family and I'm going to take control of my business. So even though they should know it and they should learn these reports, I know it. Okay. That's the difference. Remember, some people make it happen. Leaders, or some people want it to happen. Leaders make it happen and we drive that. Okay. So the next thing that you're going to look at is their club volume. Okay. She's at 560 right now. Regardless of what her goal is, maybe she told you at the beginning of the month, I'm going to give her a goal. Remember, you're the driver. Okay. So if I'm looking at this and there's 2 months left, 2 days left in the month, and she's at 560, I'm not going to be like, yay, she's in the 400 club. There's 2 days left, you guys. She should be going for the 700 club. Why? Her paycheck. Okay. So I'm going to reach out to her and I'm going to say to her, hey, not only are you 712 away from maintaining senior director, but you're also 140 in personal sales away from earning a 9% bonus. Congrats on earning that 6% by getting in the 400 club. But girl, you're a bundle away from earning 9% on the same amount of work. Let's go make that happen for you. Okay. So what you do as you go through here is you give them a goal. Again, you're driving it. Okay. Somebody's at 851, get them to 1,200. You guys, even if they don't get to 1,200, their paycheck's still higher, right? Because let's say, like, look at this 851 right here. She's in the 700 club. So that would mean she'd make 9% on 851. What happens if she only gets to 1,100? She's going to make 9% on 1,100. Isn't that more than 851? So even if they don't hit the next club, drive that volume as high as possible. Why? For their paycheck and why? For your volume. Okay. So the next bucket of volume that you guys are going to look at is active. And these are your piddlers. Okay. Remember, if you have 10 people in your organization that have zero in volume, that's 1,000 in volume if you can get them all active. Now, these ones take the most amount of work, but here's what I want you guys to remember. If it was 11:57 and you were 1,000 away from your goal, wouldn't you be frustrated? Right? And you'd be like, oh, I didn't do it. What if you knew 10 days out that you were going to be 1,000 away? You'd be like, got it in the bag. I'll go work for that, right? So this is why those reports are so super easy to kind of manipulate and see where the volume's going to be. You guys don't know what's going to happen, but you can help people. So for this person right here, okay, Kayla, I would reach out to her. She obviously, let's see, she's got some volume under her. Okay, so she may be somebody who's just kind of checked out. She deserves a conversation. Okay. Now, you guys know your team better than I do. There are some people that are like, don't ever reach out to me again. I don't care if I've got 50,000 in volume under me. I'm done, right? That's okay. I want to tell you really quick a story of a girl that was in my organization that joined me. I sent her a welcome text, never responded. Every week, I would reach out to her, invite her to my team stuff. Every month, because she was a personally enrolled, I would reach out to her at the beginning of the month, try to encourage her. Never heard back from her. On month 6, okay? And you guys, it took 2 seconds for me to do that. Was it annoying? Yeah. And you don't want to waste your time with people that aren't responding, but it took 2 seconds. I was sending the same text to everybody, right? No skin off my back if she didn't respond. But in month 6, she said, I'm so glad you've continued to reach out to me. My husband lost his job yesterday, and we were trying to figure out what to do. And I remembered I had signed up for this thing. She didn't even remember the name of the company, nothing, a couple of months ago. And here's your text. You guys, she hit 50K in volume in my organization in 4 months. Okay. Why? She had a why. Something changed in her life and in her circumstances. And if I hadn't sent her that text, she could have got a job at Walmart the next day, right? Whatever. She could have just gotten a second job, right? Like she could have gone and done something different and never became a leader in my organization. And so people matter. And so reaching out to some of these people and just saying, hey, you know what? I believe in you. I know life has gotten in the way. You said yes to this. And I just want you to know that if this is still something that you want to do, I'm going to be here for you. Let's get you active this month. I would love nothing more than to get you a paycheck, even if it's just that. Okay. Get their buy-in. Some of them aren't going to respond. Okay. But if half of them do, if you've got 10 of them, that's 500 in volume that you weren't counting on already. Okay. If somebody randomly comes back and says, you know what, you're right. Okay, this is what you got to do now. Give them a post, help them with some scripts with some customers, get them that 100. And you can tell them, remember, don't assume that they can't afford the products. So when they say, well, what does that look like? How do I get a paycheck? This is how I used to describe it. I would say you can do that in one of two ways. You can either go in and place a personal order, or it can help you go get some customers. What's best for you? Is there a new product that maybe you've been wanting to try? Because that's the fastest, easiest route, right? They just go and place an order. Done. Now let's get them to the 400 club so they can actually make some money. Okay. So as soon as they get active, then you're moving them through. Again, you're driving them to the next goal. What's the next smallest thing? 400 club. Get them a paycheck. Okay. Even if it's 50 bucks, it's 50 bucks they've never made before. Maybe it's been months, right? So this sheet right here is going to help you identify people that are close to ranking up or close to maintaining. And that's the other part, you guys, here, I'll stop screen sharing, that a lot of times leaders forget about. They're always trying to help people rank up. There's a lot of focus on ranking up. Guys, you can't take your rank to the bank and pay your bills. Okay? You take your paycheck to the bank and you pay your bills. Just because somebody isn't blowing up your phone saying that they want to rank up every single month doesn't mean that maintaining their rank and making $300 a month or $500 a month or $1,000 a month isn't substantial for their family. And so don't forget about those people that are close, 3, 400, 500, 100 away from maintaining even senior brand partner, you guys, or executive brand partner. If somebody's hit executive brand partner before, that's 1,000 in volume. To maintain it is 800. If they're sitting at 4 or 500, why wouldn't we push them to try to maintain executive brand partner, right? It's going to give them that confidence boost. It's going to make them feel like, oh my gosh, I can do this. Then the next month, you start the month fresh, get them to director, okay? Get them on track to setting those goals later. But I know that this was a lot of info and a lot of green info. And like I said, I will make sure anything that you guys want, any follow-ups, how-to steps, images, whatever, I can send you guys. But are there any like questions about anything I just went over? Okay, if there's not, was that helpful? Did you guys learn something? Did you kind of figure out maybe how to use your back office? And like I said, for some of you guys that are maybe just sitting right now at director, it may be something where you're like, Ash, when I pull this, I've got three people on my list. That's okay. You're going to use this information forward to be able to find some of those missing pieces and those gaps to be able to figure it out. Awesome, Christina. That's great. Okay, good. Yes, good deal. So, like I said, for me, the key was not just to pull the report, but actually to like export it and delete the columns that you don't need and really hone in on the ones that matter. And like I said, the ones that I would be looking at are where are people paid at right now? What's their lifetime rank? What's their volume? So, are they ranking up? Or are they maintaining? Looking at their clubs and then going and looking at active. And that's going to help you guys start to determine those three buckets of people. And also just believing in people again. There may be somebody in your team and organization, you guys, people don't click that join button for no reason, right? They don't just randomly click it. They click it for a reason. Now, what happens after that, fear, other people's opinions, lots of things can come in, but that why of why they clicked join is still there. And sometimes, even if somebody ghosts you for a while, it takes a conversation to get them out, to get that out, and for you to believe in them. Maybe they just need somebody to be like, you can do this, regardless of what your spouse says, regardless of what your mom says. Okay, so if you have people with high team volumes like that and the person over those stops, how does that work? Introduce yourself. If you've not met that person, very easy to be like, hey, Amy, I just want to reach out to you and let you know, I don't know if we've met yet, but my name is Ashley Walmer. I'm one of your vice president leaders. And I know we haven't connected, but I was just looking at my reports and you're killing it, girl. Or you're somebody I would love to work with and mentor. Using that word mentor, I would love to get on a call with you, connect to you, just get to know you. You don't even have to say your leader left or anything like that. It's somebody else just coming alongside of them and helping and reaching out to them. And you guys, honestly, like when I built, I had lots of leaders in my organization that were incredible, and me coming alongside of them never took away from them. But I always wanted to make sure everybody on my team knew who I was, and just to, so they didn't feel like abandoned or, oh, Ashley's our leader, but she only works with this organization over here. You know what I mean? And so, yes, even though they were enrolled by somebody else and there's a leader there, when you have somebody enroll in your team, and that's a whole nother thing, downline reports, you can look at join date every week or every month. You can look and see who new joined your team. Just reach out to them, introduce yourself, just say hi and say, hey, I was just checking reports. I saw that you just joined our team. Congratulations. Welcome to the family. Amy enrolled you. She's incredible. Like you're going to love her so much, but I just wanted to connect with you, let you know I'm here as well. I live in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I have three kids. Just kind of do that like life part a little bit too, because God didn't make all of us copycats, right? Every single one of us have different strengths and different weaknesses. And there's maybe a strength that you have that would help that person that their enroller doesn't have. And that's the thing, you guys. I remember when I had an enroller that, oh my gosh, I never took it like, oh, she's stepping on my toes when she reached out to my team. I was so thankful for that because I knew I couldn't be everything to every person on my team, and I wasn't going to be everybody's cup of tea. That didn't offend me. It's just human nature, right? And so when my upline, when Aspen or a different upline would reach out to my team and help them, so thankful. And it let me work in other areas so we could work smarter, not harder.
I love
But
this. I think, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
no, I was just gonna say, any questions, you guys? I'm an open book, so you can always send me a message on Facebook if you ever have questions. Like, I don't want you to feel like, okay, this Zoom ended and now it's over. Like, feel free to reach out. I just want to, if you have a question later and you're like, oh, I should have asked that, please just send me a message.
Yes, and she means that. She's absolutely incredible. I think one of the things that I want to challenge you guys to do is go ahead in your calendar on the 15th, make it a recurring alarm and say, check Gen Qual Pro on the 15th so that you see that alarm. And I do this all the time. I don't even set alarms. I set calendar reminders as alarms. And that way it's like, hey, on the 15th, this is what I'm going to do. And you can write a pretty lengthy note in there in the details of the meeting. Okay, it's a meeting on your calendar, but you can say the four things to check: maintaining rank, ranking up, clubbing up, and active, so that you have that in the memory of how to do it. But I would challenge you guys right now to set that in your calendars on the 15th of the month. Because imagine if you just help four people and the total of that is close to $3,000 or $4,000 just by helping four people either maintain or rank up or hit active. Like, would $4,000 or $5,000 make a huge difference in your business right now? I'm going to shake my head yes, because I know all of your businesses. Yes, it would. Absolutely, it would. And so I love that you said this too. And it stuck out because I think I fall victim to this too. Is sometimes we only look for those that are ranking up. We're only thinking of, okay, who's going to rank up? But I love doing this. Now, do our minds go there the last like 6 days of the month? Heck yeah, it does. Absolutely. It should. But again, on the 15th of the month, if you're looking at these reports on the 15th, you're now way ahead of the game. You're focusing on this piece to give you the end of the month to focus on the rank up piece. But also, what you're doing, and you guys have heard me talk about the magic week, the third week of the month, where people are deciding, oh, my volume isn't where I want it to be, so I'm just going to wait till next month. Or they're deciding, oh, that's not bad. I think I'm going to push. If you're hitting this on the 15th and you're breathing life and you're driving activity and you're challenging them to maintain or club up, they're already, this is the 15th of the month. This isn't the third week. This is the second ish. You're now ahead of the mindset trap that a lot of our team members can fall into on the third week. So you're like hitting a lot of buckets that can set you up for a lot of success. Are you tracking with what I'm saying? Like, this is smart stuff. I have a question for you, Ashley, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw it at you. But you said something so important that I said on a leader call that I had last night with a pocket of people. We were talking about the importance of personal business recruitment, and you said at the beginning of this call, using reports to take the next level to your business, but also you can't forget about your personal business. I'd love to hear your thoughts, tips, anything that you're like, hey, if you want to implement one thing this month or three things this month to really focus on that personal business or recruitment, or maybe we've got some people on the call tonight that's like, hey, I only have a handful of brand partners. How do I find more? Or I have some brand partners, but they're all really stuck. And I've been like, my wheels are in the mud and I'm doing everything because I know the activity on this call, you guys are doing the things. How do they get that next wave inside their business? And I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. So, just so you guys know, like I built through belly to belly. That's how I built. When I say I failed forward, there came a point though where I stopped failing. Okay. And I went from 0 to 6 figures in 6 months, and it was all belly to belly. So I know how to do that. But I'm going to actually talk about social for a second. Okay. If you want to bring people to you, and I don't mean wait for them to come into your inbox. I mean, prime them. Get them to the point where every single time they see your social, they're like, oh, me too. Me too. It's sharing your story every day in a different way. And what I mean by that is, okay, I want you guys to start writing down maybe a note on your phone of all the things that were frustrations for you before you said yes to Bravenly or before you said yes to this industry. I know some of you guys have built in other companies before. I want you to think back to the struggle, to the mess, okay, I was so tired of going to the grocery store and having to put food back at the end of it and never say yes to my kid. I was tired of going to the gas station and literally having to check my bank account before I put gas in because I could never just fill up and let it go click all the way. Okay, that was me. Think back to those struggles. And I want you guys to start sharing your story of why you said yes to Bravenly. You guys all do, and when I say you, I mean all of Bravenly does such an incredible job sharing your product story. Okay? We share about these products every day and we talk about the results. But you can do that same thing about what the business is doing for you. Okay. So that formula of what you're sharing is where were you before you said yes? Where are you now? And where are you going? Why? Because people want to join people that know where they're going. Okay. And you want to be that person. And so this is another thing that like I have absolutely I can send over to Tara. I have like 30 days of like prompts of how to share your story in different ways for 30 days. But I remember every single time when we were going to the next level, I made a challenge on my team and I was like, I dare you guys to share your story every single day for 30 days. And mark my words, every single one of them double promoted. Why? Because it's getting that the idea of, okay, when was the last time you guys were on TikTok or that you just bought something from social media? If you think back to why you bought it, it's because you saw it over and over and over again before you finally hit add to cart and buy. Okay. You're in the position in social marketing where you have that same power. Some people just don't use it, right? You post about your business maybe once a week, maybe once a month. You post about the products all the time. Maybe you're probably getting more customers because you're doing it more regularly. If you switch that thinking to posting about the business, posting about what this business is doing for you, why you said yes, going live, sharing your heart and your story every single day, that's how you get that person on the other end to be like, oh, me too. I'm just like her. If she can do it, I can do it, right? And it's how you get that interaction. And so I would challenge you guys to share your story in a different way about this business. And here's the thing, you guys, it's summer. I live in Michigan. There was one time where I went to the beach with my kids that day, took a picture. The whole post was about them, but at the very end of it, I was like, I'm so thankful I didn't miss this moment. I used to be in a cubicle sitting outside and having the babysitter text me pictures of my kids. I didn't have to miss the Johnny, don't throw sand in your sister's hair fight today, right? And get a brand partner, get somebody to respond to me or comment, and then I'd get in their inbox, okay, and talk to them. But when you guys only do that every once in a while, it doesn't hit. You've got to do it consistently every single day in a different way. And it doesn't have to be spamming people, it's sharing just a sentence or two sometimes as just that part of it. So I would be absolutely, I can send you guys those 30-day prompts if you want.
Please do. Please do. I would love for us to do that. And then, like you said, see some rank ups, even double rank ups. I'd love to see that for
Yeah.
you guys. Jaden asked a great question in the chat. I want you to read that because I know that a couple of you may feel similarly. She's
Oh, girl. Okay. Well, first of all, we're our own worst critic. Nobody cares that much except for us, okay? So that's the first part of it, just knowing and understanding that. The other part that like I had to really struggle with is if it's more your friends and family, and usually you cringe because you have that one person that you're like, oh my gosh, if they see this post. Okay, maybe that's not you. That was for sure me. And then I had to stop and think to myself, is my aunt gonna pay my bills? Like, can I call her and be like, okay, I'll stop posting, but will you pay my mortgage? No, she's not. So at the end of the day, you have to be the one that's in control. But here's the other thing, posture up. You're a business owner. Network marketing isn't Amway anymore. And I'm literally sitting in the Amway Grand Plaza right now, like in Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is really funny. But here's the deal. Own your story. Own what you have your hands on. You're a business owner. You said yes to this. You are taking your family to the next level. People are going to join you. It's not if, it's when. Okay. It's not if you make $1,000 a month, it's going to happen. It's when it's going to happen, and start talking from a place of that. And if you have to do that to yourself before you make that post, do that. Do a voice recording of yourself talking to yourself. Ask Tara, to send you some minutes that you can just listen to of her believing into you that you can play over and over and over again. But at the end of the day, so this is the last thing I'll say, is if it makes you cringe, send a screenshot to Tara or somebody else. I don't know if you have another upline and say, is there anything that you would tweak in this? Okay. Because maybe there are. I've seen some posts where I'm like, oh my God. Okay. And I've also seen some posts that I've done in the past where I was like, oh, somebody should have stopped me before I posted that. Right. So if you're just not what I say comfortable and confident yet, that's different. Okay. If you're not confident and comfortable and you just need some other eyes on it to be like, that's freaking awesome. Or, hey, you know what? When you say this, tweak it. Then when you post it, you're going to know, okay, that's a good post. I'm not a salesy, spammy person. I'm a good friend and I love people. I'm a business owner and I'm helping my friends and family do this business. People deserve to know what I have my hands on. I don't want somebody mad at me a year from now when they say, why didn't you ask me? Okay. When you have that posture and you go into it, things just start to change in your headspace because that's what it is right now. You're just your headspace. So hopefully that helped.
I love that. I love that. I added a little tweak there on the chat because I know of some friends who are going to be a little quiet and not want to say this, but can you speak? And I know we've used a lot of your time, but we could just like ask all the questions to you. Can you speak a little on maybe how to posture up if someone doesn't want to feel braggadocious or egotistical or oh gosh, like she just thinks she's all that in a bag of chips. Like that's kind of nasty, right? Like
Right.
how do you help somebody who's very humble and
Mhm.
modest and which is a beautiful, beautiful
Yeah.
characteristic? How do you help them get there? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys, it's not about what you've done, it's about what you have your hands on. Okay? So it doesn't matter if you've made $1, $500, $1,000, or if you're making $10,000 a month. You don't need to share that, right? Posture doesn't equal money. Posture doesn't equal a rank. It's a mindset.
Mm.
Okay. It's knowing what you have your hands on. And then the hard part is being able to articulate that. And that's the part where like I said, if you need a screenshot and get a little bit of coaching on that, when I said I failed forward and then I went from 0 to 6 figures in 6 months, a lot of people ask like, what's one thing that you did or whatever. Okay. Literally the secret sauce was I knew I had failed so many times before. And I told my enroller, her name is Cami. I was like, I literally, I don't want to reach out to a single person and say the wrong thing. I'm scared to death. I'm going to mess it up. I've messed it up so many times before. I didn't have any confidence in myself, right? I was never uncon or like I always had confidence in the industry. I just didn't think I could do it, right? Like I met other people that could do it. I just didn't think I could. So I was so scared of saying the wrong thing and doing the wrong thing that it like almost kept me stuck. I was scared to reach out to people. I was scared to post about it. And so I was like, please, can you help me? Like, what would you say? And we sat there for like an hour and she wrote down a bunch of things and I listened to her and I screen recorded and I was like, "Oh my God, that's what I would say." Okay, that's what I would say, right? But here's the thing that it did. It gave me the confidence to be able to go message people when I maybe didn't have the confidence in my own understanding. Okay. So that was when I was brand new. But posture, the thing that I want you guys to understand is it doesn't equal how much you've made. It's what you have your hands on. You're sharing, you're getting to a place where you're like, you know what? People deserve to know that these products are incredible and that people are getting results. People deserve to know that there's another way to live life that they can make an extra $200 to $500 a month. Not even 5,000, not even 10,000. Yes, that's possible. But at the end of the day, like people deserve to know that this is possible, that they can do this too. And don't you love your friends and family enough to tell them that? That was my legit biggest fear. The day that I said yes, I was scared to death that a year from now, my sister was going to come to me and be like, I could have been making this money with you for the whole time. You didn't tell me about it. You just went and told your people that are on social media, or you just went and told your neighbors. You didn't tell me and have that money go help your nephews, my sons. That was the thing that I was like, everybody in my life deserves to know that I have, whether they say yes or no is up to them, but they deserve to know that they can do this too. And once you guys understand that piece of it, you're posturing not from a place of being braggadocious or talking about your income, but what is available to somebody else. Does that make sense? It's not about you and what you've done. It's about what you have access to and what the people in your life can access through you.
I love that. I love that. Anybody have any last minute questions for Ashley? And like she said, if you think of something later, we can, I mean, this isn't a one and done. She's not unavailable. We'll respect her time, but we can definitely connect with her again. I just want to, while you guys are thinking about your questions, use this time, guys. You earned this time. Use this time. I just want to thank you, Ashley, for all the tips. I have 2 pages of notes. I absolutely love this. I think it's spot on. I think you have given us a really great set of skills to take the business to the next level. So I just thank you for your time and willingness. Y'all, I asked her about this almost a month ago and I said, hey, would you be open? And without a hesitation, she was like, yes, and when. And I was like, okay, thank you so much. She's incredible. Any other questions, guys, about recruiting, about taking it to the next level, about leadership, about back office, anything else? Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm out of my close circle, so going outside of that circle. Oh, that's a good question. Okay, going
Yeah.
from the warm to the cold. Yeah.
So it kind of, this is an interesting, so whether you're going in person or social. So in person, some of my biggest tips for like meeting people out and about, you guys, is remember like when you're out and about, don't stay glued to your phone. It's so easy when you're standing in line at the mall or standing in line at the grocery store to just like get on your phone and start messaging people. Put your phone down, look up, smile, interact. If it's a random guy that hasn't shaved in 4 months, you're maybe not going to talk to him, okay? You get to choose who you talk to, but maybe the person in front of you is somebody that's just like you, right? And like real life example of this, because I feel like you guys can learn through stories, is I was in Old Navy one time. I was shopping. It was in the middle of the day. So anybody else that was shopping either was a stay-at-home mom, whatever, right? They had my schedule. Okay. So I'm always looking for people that are like me because why? We can be relatable. So I was standing in line at Old Navy. She was pushing a baby in her stroller. And I was like, oh my gosh, your daughter is so cute. How old is she? So I started the conversation with her. Okay. I'm a nice person. I do that normally, but it was business. It was business that I started that conversation. I didn't just need to make a new friend in Old Navy. Okay. So I was like, how old is your daughter? And she's like, oh my gosh, she's just a couple weeks old. I just love her so much. And I was like, oh my goodness, do you get to stay home with her? Get to stay home with her. Keyword. Okay. She was like, well, I do right now. I'm actually a dental hygienist. I'm on maternity leave. Like, what about you? Do you have kids? Because that's human nature. When you ask somebody, they ask you. And I was like, I do. Like, I have 3 kids. And she's like, what about you? Do you get to stay home with them? And I was like, I do. I actually own my own business and I work from home from social media. So literally, if I have my phone, I can work my business. And she's like, what? And I was like, well, hey, are you on Facebook? And I was like, here, let me add you right now. And I typed in my name on my phone on Facebook and handed it to her. Okay. And she clicked add friend. So we were in line. I wasn't going to take up any more of that time pitching her. Okay. That's when you can get salesy. Okay. I was like, well, hey, when I get in my car later, when I get home, I'll send you a message. Let's go connect. We can take the kids to like McDonald's play area. You guys, I don't know how many times I did meetings in McDonald's play areas. And as soon as I got back in the car, I just sent her a quick message and I was like, hey, it was so good connecting with you today at Old Navy. I can't wait to tell you a little bit more about what I do. Messaged her that night. We met up the next day. She enrolled on the spot. Okay. So instead of just being on your phone, if you guys need to meet people in person, be in person. Don't be in your phone. Okay. So that's just like a quick, like 1 second tip for that as you guys are going around about life.
I love that. I'll share a quick tip before we wrap up, and just to confirm what Ashley is saying, something very similar happened to me. I happened to be on vacation, but I just from afar I spotted this couple that I was like, "Oh, they're fun, they're cute, she's cute." And so I told David, I said, "Babe, like my eyes on them. I'm talking to them this week. Like I'm gonna find them." And certainly enough, swim up bars are great, right? So we went to the swim up bar. There she is, and I strike up a conversation, but it was all business related. I knew that she didn't. And long story, she ended up joining my business, and for a long while was the strongest leg of my business. And it is important to connect and be intentional about networking. That is what we do. Be intentional about connecting. Be intentional about looking and seeing, oh, would I want to work with them? Maybe not the character that Ashley shared at the beginning, but definitely the second character. And so definitely be intentional about that. I love that. But also, Jaden, the other thing too is that's in person. The other way is expand your audience through the networks of others. And Aspen was the one that used that language with me at a team retreat when we first started this team. She was like, Tara, yes, like don't forget, you got to use the networks of other people to continue growing. And I was like, oh, I knew that, but I've never phrased it like that. And it was just so like, yes. So there are several ways we do that. Host to post is a way. The messenger parties, asking for referrals. Like I've done the whole, it was Sarah Robbins 12 years ago, which were in her Rock Your Network Marketing business, where she's like, hey, ask your customers for a referral and then send them a $5 Starbucks card. Like just get out there and figure out ways to use the networks of other people to grow your audience. So I love it. Well, Ashley, thank you so, so much for spending an hour with us tonight, pouring into us. It means the world. Definitely send over that 30-day prompt.
I will.
I definitely want that. We so appreciate you, and congratulations all of you guys for working hard and earning this call. We'll see you later.
Bye, guys. Have a good night.